Hey there. Remember when dating was just for fun and to find the love of your life and just experience life together? Well, me too. My name is Blue, and today we are going to talk about TikTok ruining the concept of dating. So, the first thing that caught my attention that made me think, you know what, I have to talk about this was this idea of the bare minimum. What is the bare minimum? Is the minimum really bare or is it slightly clothed? I don't know. But TikTok has this idea of if he wanted to, he would. But can he? So at first, this whole idea of bare minimum, if he wanted to, he would, started off, pretty normal. This whole thing of, when guys are like, oh, I was gonna get you flowers, like I was gonna, I was gonna, So I get where the concept came from, where it's like, why are you telling me what you would like to do? If you wanted to, you would do it. You're selling me the concept of buying her flowers. So I get that, but it's evolved. It has evolved. It went from things like getting her flowers, taking her out for a little date, things like that, to did your man get you a Lamborghini for your graduation? Oh, didn't think so. If he wanted to, he would. Like, my man wants a lot of things. He wants a mansion. He wants it. Can he? No, he can't. And I feel like people have forgotten this idea of being young and broke. The other day, I saw people in my age group, which is early 20s, talking about wanting a man to pay for everything and he should pay the rent, he should pay the bills. And it's like, that's great if he can, like, good for you, pop off, sis. But I feel like to be like, he's not the one when you're 20 something and he can't afford to pay for everything, that's a bit crazy. Because, first of all, if you even went to university, you just left university. The job market, disgusting. We are both broke and struggling, so why is it on him to be freaking Superman? Another thing that feels so unnatural these days is the whole rule book of how to find the one, how to find the perfect man, how to avoid dating a piece of shit. And I'm all for, giving people the signs to look out for because there definitely are signs of like a bad or abusive partner. But now it's turned into signs for finding your Prince Charming. And this whole thing of dating is very individual, it's something that's supposed to be very natural and you do what feels right. But now we've introduced talking stages, that whole thing of, oh, you need to talk to someone before you date them to get to know them. If you don't, you're doomed, blah, blah, blah. And, I get that. I get that it's not always good to jump into a relationship because maybe there would have been something he said during this supposed talking stage that lets you know what, this is a freak. But then you have to consider some people only show their true colors after marriage. After marriage. So this whole 3 month rule, like, what is the point of that if a really truly devious man wants to be devious to you, he will hide it until he has you locked in. So I just think that these rules can be helpful, but when they are so strictly stuck to, I feel it becomes a hindrance at that point. Because if you meet a really cool guy and you guys are vibing and things are going at the pace that they're meant to be, and he wants to be exclusive, and you're like, oh, but TikTok said the 3 month rule, and you purposefully push him away and stuff because you want to wait this 3 month rule because you don't want to be exclusive before 3 months. It's like, what are you even doing at that point? Like the concept of doing what feels right. Like, So that's my gripe with TikTok. And then we get into the whole do's and don'ts side of this dating playbook. The red flags and the green flags. I feel that we have lost the plot. We have completely forgotten what a red flag is. My understanding was that a red flag is an indication that a person could possibly be toxic and abusive in the future. And it's something to like kind of, take a mental note of so that when they compile, you have enough evidence to be like, no, I don't need to stick around and see if he starts getting, crazy. I think I'm going to go now. That was great. That was cool. Sharing red flags, very helpful, very nice, gold star. Everything is a red flag now. everything. The other day, I saw people saying that if your man cries during a fight, it's a red flag because he's emotionally manipulating you. Like, hello? I cry every time that I'm angry. I do. It just happens. Like the concept of emotional people. I need to stop with this concept to me. It lives in my head. I can't stop with the concept to meme. But everything's a red flag, and at the same time, the exact counterpart is literally nothingness. Nothing burgers are a green flag. Like people will be like, oh, when he knows how to hold a kitten, green flag. Like, what are we even doing over here? What's even happening at this point? We're just saying things. And to kind of segue off of this red flag, green flag situation is the concept of the ick. Okay, I need to stop saying concept. I'm so sorry. For me, this whole thing of the ick, at first I thought it was like, like haha funny. I've been with my boyfriend since 2022, and sometimes, people are humans. They're gonna do cringe things, and sometimes you have those moments where you're like, oh, didn't love that. And I was so with that. I was like, yeah, like it has a name, that's cool. It's a bit of an ick moment, but still love ya. But now the ick has become this thing of loving your partner, and then they do this human thing and suddenly you're not interested anymore. Like people saying they get the ick and lose feelings. Then I was like, what's happening here now? Like, what are we doing? I'm confused. I thought this was like a cute little, oh, my man's so cringe, our girl's so cringe. And people will name the craziest things as an ick, like seeing your man's butt crack when he's like leaning out the car door. Like, the idea of a man having a butt crack, the concept of it all. I promise you, I will stop with this concept stuff. It's just like my favorite meme of the week. I'm sorry, guys. But the silliest things will become an ick. Like, for example, a girl, and that's the thing, it's transcended your own relationship now. People get the ick on the behalf of others as like a form of secondhand embarrassment, I guess you could call it, where a girl will share a moment with her boyfriend, like him singing karaoke, something cute and fun that's meant to be just a moment to share with people, to be like, look how fun my freaking boyfriend is. And people will be like, oh, girl, I would have gotten the ick. I'm so sorry. Hello, that's not your man. Like, why? What are we even doing anymore? Is my point. What are we even doing? If you are wanting to be in a long-term relationship and marry this person and die together, they are going to be cringy 1,000,001 times. I'm going to be cringy. I've probably been cringy like how many times in this like 15-minute video. Point is, these people are human beings, and I don't think it's fair to lose feelings over a cringe moment. So the ick just got out of hand. The ick gave me the ick. The ick became cringe because suddenly everything was an ick. Dating becoming digitalized with this whole thing of a good couple posts each other, and a good couple has a little highlight in the Instagram bio or the initial in the bio, or all these things and TikTok trends that people are like, oh, when is he gonna post me to this trend? I feel that people put too much weight on these things because 10 years ago, none of this mattered. 10 years ago, people like me were just posting like what freaking flavor of ice cream they had that day on their social media. And now it's become like this marker of how much you mean to someone for a lot of people, where it's like, "Ugh, my last boyfriend never posted me," like, or my current boyfriend, I love him so much, but he never posts us. Why does that matter? Because what is posting for, anyways? I am not against posting. I've posted. My man recently got social media. That's a story for another day. He's recently gone on social media and he posts now. But why is it something that your relationship hinges upon to the point that you have arguments about it? Because at the end of the day, posting your significant other is a performance, right? It's for other people. You want to show the best parts of your relationship and show how happy you are. And I love that. I support it. But if someone doesn't want to do that, it doesn't mean that they're cheating. We all have different personalities. Some people are just private, and I get it. I never used to post. It's become a recent thing for me because I used to be like maybe a little bit paranoid. Girl, I'm not gonna sit here and list my freaking diagnosis, but sometimes I had moments where I was convinced that posting on social media would make evil, envious people wish ill upon me and it would succeed. So I would never post like my relationship or post about my hair or anything because I was like, them bitches are gonna see it and my hair's gonna fall out. But but anyways, I recently was like, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? And started posting things that I wanted to post. Social media has kind of also changed the way that people communicate with their partners. People don't talk anymore. People are shading each other or talking about an argument through their freaking TikTok reposts and hoping that their man or their girlfriend or whomever just magically decides to look at the repost and be like, damn, I knew she was mad today. And it's like, why not just talk to them? Like, what are we even doing anymore? Why has social media become this? It was a tool for communication, but now it's sort of replacing communication, if you get what I mean. And I think that is a problem. That is a problem. That's not a valid form of communication. How about you give them a call? How about you ask them if you can stop by their house and talk? How about that? And then my last concern about social media dating is this whole thing of oversharing. What is happening, guys? What's going on? Why do we, the general public, need to know how nasty y'all get? Why do we, the general public, need to see y'all's tongues fighting? I think that nothing is sacred anymore. People overshare to a concerning degree, especially on TikTok. I will put examples. I'm not insane. I will put examples. I have seen the craziest things on TikTok where people just straight up share every intimate detail of their relationship. I don't know what for. Someone explain. What is the purpose? What is the reason? So I think that we should all know less about each other. Definitely, definitely. I think it's healthy to keep some things to yourself. I think that it's great for the relationship to keep things to yourself because if you share everything, it gets to a degree where it's going to build resentment. We've seen this many times with social media couples where they start to fight about, why do you go to the internet every time we have a fight? Why do you share this? Why do you share that? So I just think it's always healthy to have privacy within a relationship. Even in real life, you don't need to tell your friends everything, you know? Basically, those are all my points about TikTok and dating and how it is crazy to see the internet literally change how we do something that humans have been doing since the beginning of time. I mean, dating is one of the most natural things that humans do, and you can practice as much as you want, but it might not go the way that you want it to. I mean, we have plenty of examples of that. For example, Wizard Liz, so sorry to her for her situation, but she was like a dating coach type person where she gave all this advice and rules and boundaries to set if you want a high value man and this and that, and she still ended up in the situation that she did, and it's unfortunate, it really is. But do you see my point? It's like 12-year-old me being on YouTube googling how to kiss and practicing with an apple with a wedge cut out of it. Did it matter? Did it matter in the end when I did finally kiss someone? No, I wasn't even thinking about that. I couldn't remember damn making out with apples. It didn't matter. So stop practicing things that your brain and body know how to do. You don't need a rule book for dating. You are a very intuitive human being with feelings and senses, and I promise you, just vibe. Just vibe and it will be okay, okay? That's all for today. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I have many more videos coming soon. Yeah, Blue is out.